Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. It is 2024!
It is indeed.
It's certainly 2024.
Want to know a sobering thought? We're closer into the podcast being 5 years than we are closer to have started the podcast.
That's been true
Wait,
for
what?
a year.
This is episode
I have realized
68.
this now, and it's just kind of caught me off guard.
This is episode 68, so next is 69.
Next episode is 69, according to Jacob's math. I don't think
Isn't
any of us
that-
have fact-checked it, but...
Like, of everything we've recorded ever.
Oh.
I think next episode is going to be like fucking stacked. There's a lot of shit releasing in
yeah,
February.
February's looking... Yeah, this... Once we hit... next episode will have officially been 4 full years
That is fucking crazy,
of
dude.
recaps.
Yep.
God damn.
I feel
For those of you
like-
listening, thank you for joining us, whether you've just joined us after our 2023 award series or you've been with us since the pandemic days. We appreciate you. We hope we've put you on to some new music, and we've got some more new music to talk about from January. Some new bands, some old bands, some bands that have been quiet for a while coming back. A whole lot of music to talk about in this first month of the year. We got a couple EPs, couple albums. And overall, yeah, I'm really excited to talk about everything that's released in the first month of the year. Be sure to follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on Spotify, Hivemind Radio Recap, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us bring the subscriber number higher, because that's a good thing.
Yeah, last year we broke 100, so
Yeah.
let's shoot for 200 or 150. You know how milestones work.
Or 1,000.
Yeah.
I think I would be rather concerned if we actually hit 1,000 suddenly at one point. I'd be like, what the fuck did we do?
Bad Omens when Just Pretend starts going viral on TikTok.
Yes.
Yo, did you what like Universal Music or whatever? I don't remember the exact name of the company, but they're removing all their music from TikTok, so like a bunch of bands are not going to be able to play their music on TikTok now.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, you want to do social media show? I have to go grab my food.
Yeah, you can follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Hivemind Radio on YouTube. Hivemind Recap Podcast on Spotify. Follow, subscribe, do all that whatever stuff. Now Justin's getting a snack, so I figure we should wait for him before we get into the first song of the month. I guess just as like to test the waters, so to say. How are we feeling about January 2024 as a whole? First month of the year.
Meh.
I think it's better than last year.
That is true.
That's where I'm leaning. Yeah, I think January 2023 was lacking.
Well, that's funny. I got 4 Sleep Token songs last January, but I mean, like, in a sense, like, more
it had
diverse.
its highlights, but like the early months of last year, especially for albums, were pretty dry, and EPs. But I feel like we got a solid batch of singles, and I also feel like we have some decent albums to start out the year. February is looking to crank that up a notch.
Well, that's why we like combined them, right? Because January kind of.
But yeah, we combined January and February.
Plus Derek.
yeah,
sabbatical.
internet fun.
It's been a full year since that. How does it feel, Derek? Like, does it feel like a year ago?
No, it does not.
You still have struggles.
It's low-key freaking me out. Yeah, that's why it doesn't feel like it's because my internet's still dog shit. But at least I've got it.
Yep, that's true. Let's get started with our first song of the month.
Yeah, let's
Justin,
get going.
take it away.
We got Alesti back with another drop, this time featuring Soft Spoken with their song Closer.
I can never tell when songs that are named like this are Closer or Closer. English
Yeah,
is stupid.
It's weird. It's like a read and read. You know, it's like super close.
Yeah.
It just depends on like who you're talking to and like the context. So for context, for those that don't know, Lesty, he does a lot of the instrumentations for a lot of his songs, and then just gets vocalists in the scene. Last year he did songs with Until I Wake, Windwalkers, Siamese. This most recent one before this one was with Outline and Color. This one is now featuring Soft Spoken. And Chris's vocals on this are phenomenal, as always. I really liked how he incorporated his uncleans as well. I haven't seen that done since Until I Wake's song, Intoxicated. Even still, like, going way back in Lesty's discography, when they did, I think it was Paralyzed with James DeBerg. I think that's still my favorite from Lesty. Because I think that's the best incorporation of a vocalist's range from highs to uncleans. But this song is also really good. Soft Spoken as a whole, they are very consistent with every track that they've put out last year. And I think that's in due with how Chris's vocals are so cemented into their sound. And I think incorporating it into a different sound still works just the same.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to add. It's just like Lesty featuring really talented vocalists from the scene, and it rarely ever misses.
That's what I'm saying is I feel like, with very few exceptions, Lesty has a great job of like getting the most out of a feature. You know, like he always brings out the best sides of them. And obviously, I feel like every once in a while we end up complaining about a feature from like a talented vocalist because, like, oh well, we know they could do more type of thing, and don't really ever see that complaint with Lesty. He knows what's up.
No, they've been pretty good, especially since he had an EP back in 2021 that had just a lot of good bands. They had Loveless, James DeBerg, Andy Kizek, Rory, just a ton of good music all around, and Lesty just knows how to find talent in a lot of different vocalists in the scene right now. So I'm calling it here. If we don't get a fucking Tom Byrne Lesty song, I will riot.
That's gonna be one of the most Justin coded things ever.
Yeah,
I will be on that day one. All right, let's get a move on then. Jacob, I think you got this next one.
I've got this one ready.
Uh-huh.
Bring Me the Horizon. Have released latest single Kool-Aid. Which is the first song they've released since the departure of Jordan Fish.
Well, how are we
Bring Me
feeling
the
about
Horizon
this?
song.
Yeah, compared to the other singles, middle of the pack.
You know what this makes me think is Jordan was the one pushing for the more melodic but experimental sound. Because this still feels experimental, but it feels like they want to be like heavier with. I don't know. We'll have to see with more singles, but whenever this album ever releases.
Now releasing winter 2026. I don't know. I hear a lot of like maybe the more melodic side of Sempiternal, but like especially like that's the spirit in the verses, and I don't really like it all that much. The chorus slaps. I fucking love the chorus, but something about those like I want to say like signature Ollie raspy cleans don't always do it for me. Or not even cleans. I guess somewhere in between the sing screen, but it's not bad. I would say this is middle of the pack out of the singles for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. This one kind of came and went for me. Like, it's good, but it's just not doing anything super special for me. And I feel like the average Bring Me the Horizon fan would strongly disagree with what I'm about to say, but this feels like this feels kind of bland.
Yep.
And Dark Side feels like it has so much more soul to it, in my opinion. Whereas I feel like most people would say that Dark Side is like they're making it for radio and it's so boring. And I'm like, to me, Dark Side has so much more going for it. But I guess that's also just my taste in music not being Kool-Aid pilled.
Don't worry, I'm not Kool-Aid pilled either. I think these are both this and Dark Side are bland in their own ways.
I mean, if this doesn't tell you anything, it's like they have an obsession with cults. I feel like with like the Amen music video, even like Mantra, and this song now. Somebody in the band has an obsession with cults, and I feel like it's Ollie.
Also, who the fuck allowed this album art or single cover or whatever? Disgusting.
It feels like it's AI generated, and I don't like it.
I don't know what it is. I looked at it and I was like, meh. And they had all the album art done by people for the other things, but it does look AI generated, so I don't know. It's weird. Whatever it is, it's fucking weird.
I think it conveys the departure of Jordan Fish. What do you guys think?
where in the fuck did you get that from this fucked up little Kool-Aid guy?
So the timing with Fish leaving the band was about a week after they had set the delayed release date. So that's probably why they delayed it to remove his name off stuff.
I saw a little bit, like they were playing unreleased, like unfinished songs on their tour. But yeah, it sounds like we're getting it summer, but who knows at this point? It's been delayed twice, so who knows?
Yeah.
We may never get it.
Something that we are going to be getting is a brand new EP from Paul Bartolome, who's dropped
a lot of
brand
shit
new
from
single,
Paul Bartolome.
Dream World.
Getting a lot of shit from them.
Yeah, and this is the good shit.
I think instrumentally, at least, this is one of my favorite of theirs.
Yeah,
long
I agree.
I feel this has a lot of punch and energy to it.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
I also feel like Paul just shines as a vocalist, as good as ever.
Yeah, it's got that. I mean, they're all over the place in terms of like consistency, but not in the sense of like quality. Do you know what I mean? It's like you never know what the next single is going to sound like, but it's always going to have that Paul Bartolome sound to it. And I feel like this really exemplifies that. Like
every Paul Bartolome single is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right? But they all got chocolate in common, and that's the Paul Bartolome affair. Oh yeah, we're bringing that metaphor full circle.
Yeah. The chorus in this song is super catchy. Like but I can't believe it with like the echoed like in the background. I can't believe it. Like the dual vocal delivery across the entire chorus is fantastic, and it just super melodic, super catchy. But then in like the verses and the breakdown, you also get really fucking heavy as well. Like, and I feel like they balance the line between heavy and melodic like super well. Nothing feels like out of place.
Yeah,
heavy.
I think they do a really good job on that. And there's just a lot of blending of genres with what Paul is doing and what they have planned. I don't know. I think they've just got a really good grip on stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I did mention this is coming off of the Fake Hollywood Part 1 EP coming out in June. So presumably one or two more singles before the EP drops. But for now, we've just got this, and I believe Judgment is going to be on the EP as well. I don't have the exact track list up with me, but
Yeah, I think everything since Judgment's gonna be on there. Plus, I think they're gonna release all the singles before that EP drops. So I think we'll get like,
Oh boy.
what is it, like 2 or 3 more singles, and then the EP will drop at that last single.
yeah, lots of Paul Bartolome coming out 2024, which is a good thing for my playlist, given the lack of Paul Bartolome we had last year. Only got like 2 new songs. And with the quality that these latest singles have been bringing, I am more excited than ever to be adding them to my playlist.
Agreed. It's the end of the era, boys. We've got Issues with Skylar Accord dropping presumably their final song, Since I Lost You. What a note to go out on.
This still makes me really fucking sad, man.
I know.
This band deserves so much more.
This sounds so coded, so well done.
This song makes me
It
want to go
kinda-
back and revisit Issues' earlier albums that I never gave a fair chance.
Headspace, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely want to give that another listen. But I think after A Beautiful Oblivion, I feel like everything was just playing against Issues, and it sucks. Because I think nowadays, if the band still stuck around and maybe with what they were doing and have like Brian from the home team as their lead vocalist going into new material, I think that would be really, really special. But I do know that the most of the band has moved on from music at this point, and it makes sense. It's still sad.
This makes me wonder what this band could have been if they kept if they went forward and kept Sky on vocals for cleans and had AJ do the uncleans like he was on Beautiful Oblivion. I don't know. I feel like this band is just way too good instrumentally to retire. Like I understand why they're calling it quits after all the shit that they've unfortunately been through, like you said, but I don't know. The first 20 seconds of this song just like sent me back, and I don't know. I miss new material from this band so much. I'm so fucking pissed that Tyler Carter turned out to be a terrible person, because like this is one of my favorite bands of all time, man, and now I have to come to terms with the fact that they're gone. It's just
Well, I don't think it was just Tyler Carter. It was the timing of everything. It was that coupled with the pandemic and kind of just forcing their hand to like change, basically just get out of the game while they were still at the top of their game. And this song shows like they almost feels like they never left, and it's going to be really, really difficult for a band to really match their style.
They really were one of a kind.
Yeah. I'll have
if
more
anything
to say of this later, but
if anything,
gonna be
there's
really
a couple
difficult
of
to
bands
top
that are
their
kind of
music.
following in the footsteps.
Mhm.
There's a bit of a path that Issues have laid, and I think there are a small number of bands that are trying to carry on the legacy, so to say.
Yeah, I agree. I just want more Issues coded stuff, and I'm sad that this may be the last that we're gonna get it.
Could never
Right.
get into them.
Hey, I
Like
I couldn't get into them for a while.
I remember like, well, I guess I was in college and I tried because my friend was like obsessed with them, and it was like, hey, you gotta check out Issues. But for me, the actually a lot of bands this month, I feel like have been. It feels like we're going like almost like back in time and sonically, where we're getting a lot of like early 2000s, like we got the little the turntables in this song, so
a little bit of scout action
mm,
back
Dude,
from
I'm
like
I'm down to
2014?
I'm down to fuck around
Earlier.
with stuff from back in 2003.
exactly. Justin, I've got a song for you. You're not gonna like it though.
So that's
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that later.
okay.
I don't
Jake-
know if there's too much more to say about this Issues song. Up next, we have Cyan Kicks returning with their first new song since their album last year. We got Dancing with Demons.
They say that I am out of my mind, dancing with my demons like the queens in the dead of night.
This song is being entered into Eurovision for Finland after they entered Hurricane in 2022 and barely lost. They're trying again with this one. And in my opinion, this song blows Hurricane out of the water.
I would agree. I think
This,
this might
like,
be their best song that I've heard.
This
anyway.
is one of their best songs. This is better than everything off of that album last year, bar maybe Invincible. But this is the Cyan Kicks that I fell in love with when I discovered them back in 2021 with songs like Tidal Wave and The Flood. It has that electronic touch with the beautiful vocals. It's super catchy. It's like energetic rock while also not being too heavy. It's like very accessible to people that you show them, which is why I think they've had so much success and are re-entering into Eurovision. Like, this isn't so heavy to where like the general population would be like, oh, it's gross type of thing, you know? Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super catchy. The delivery in the chorus of the fucking dance till the day I die, out of my mind, dancing with my demons, I will dance till the day I die. Just lyrically, it makes a lot of sense with the song as well, but it's also just super catchy. The one quirk I have with this song is the bridge into kind of the breakdown, where it's like the distorted "follow me so you could be free." The vocal delivery in that feels a little off to me, and I can't explain why. But then the breakdown hits, and I'm like, oh shit, let's go. So, I don't know. One small quirk for an otherwise, like, it feels weird to be calling this a pleasant surprise, but my hype for Cyan Kicks died down a lot after that last album,
Yeah.
and this is right back on track for me, so I was pretty stoked with this.
This is the EDM like breakdown type of thing in this is very Icy Stars-esque. Like Treehouse.
In a way,
Actually,
yeah.
But like straight
It's not-
out of Mobbin'
it's-
Out.
Yeah.
It's not as, like, EDM coded, but it's like a hint of EDM.
I think it's pretty. I could see that breakdown on Treehouse.
Yeah. Maybe not older Icy Stars material, but like
I
yeah,
probably haven't
Treehouse,
listened to
sure.
I haven't listened to Treehouse enough, so
Yeah, you need to get in there.
oops, my bad.
No,
Bro,
this is
We should have been
that's
talking
cool.
about the Icy Stars funeral, not Issues.
right. Yo,
Real.
whoever kicked the rock in the timeline that made fucking Icy Stars continue and Issues disband. Fuck you. I find you, I'm kicking more than just a rock.
To be fair, there could be a worse timeline where Issues is sounding like New Day Icy Stars, and we're
it's a
all
s-
crying.
No, that's not possible.
It's a sad.
That like that there you can like deviate from the canon a little bit, but like no. Issues is meant to like somebody somewhere fuck this band over. They could never have done it to themselves.
That's what you'd like to think. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't want to think there's an alternate timeline, but maybe there is one. Anyway,
No.
up next we have what is quite possibly my most anticipated album of 2024 being announced. Letter Sent Home have dropped a brand new single, I Hope I Die First, off of their upcoming debut album, Forever Undone, coming out in April.
I'll try to retreat, but first I need to know. Be the first to go so I can watch you from below and promise me the afterlife so I can.
I hope I didn't ruin the fact that this is the album closer to any of you guys by putting it in the playlist. But if you did listen to it,
Oh, that's
Sorry,
why I like
Jacob.
this song. It has to be. It's the only explanation.
Derek, did you avoid this one?
No, I listened to it when you dropped it in chat without seeing that it was the closer like a couple weeks ago, and just yeah.
So you guys have been spoiled that this is the closer energy is strong in this one.
It makes so much sense now.
Yeah. So this is the album closer of Forever Undone, and I can already imagine April 12th at midnight listening to this album and getting to this is the final song and all of the emotions running through, because this song is so emotionally charged. I read somewhere that this is their first and potentially only ever love song that they will write. I don't remember the context of why, but the entire premise of the song is basically about loving someone so much that you can't imagine living without them. And in the lyrics, you get, I'll try to reach 28, but first I need to know. I'll be the first to go so I can watch you from below. Promise me the afterlife so I can live the present, because I can't have you gone, but I will wait in heaven. So, yeah, it's sad but happy. It's like sad but motivational, and I feel like this band has like almost perfected that type of songwriting. Between this and We're Not Gonna Die and Phoenix, stuff like that. I don't know, this is Letters Sent Home's bread and butter, and sonically as well, it's everything I love about this band. And as I said, this is quite possibly my most anticipated album for the year. And very likely will, if this doesn't end up in my top 10,
something
yeah, I
or something
cannot
right.
imagine. I cannot imagine
or
a
10
world,
other things went right.
Exactly.
But I genuinely can't imagine a world where this does not end up in my top 10 albums of the year.
Write that down.
Yeah, that's your first freebie of the year.
I like the ending. Just like the
with like
overlay
the overlaying vocals.
vocal.
Yeah. It just makes it the entire song and the closer energy even more grand. I may wait to talk about any more of the singles that drop for this album until the album comes out in April, because I feel like every time I talk about this band, I just say the same goddamn thing anyway. But we'll see. Album's only a few months away at this point, so it's not like the Normandy situation where we got 7 singles and the album's announced like 6 months prior.
Sigh.
But we'll get to that in our February recap, because that album's finally coming out very soon.
That's our 69th episode.
Yeah, true.
The stream didn't hear that because we had audio issues, so I had to say it here.
Up next, we have K.Flay with her first song after her album Mono. This song is called Car Sick. I got one reason for adding this song to the playlist. I technically cheated a little bit by adding 8 songs instead of just 7, which we typically try to limit to. This was my 8th song for one reason and one reason alone. I don't know if y'all noticed the lyrics of this song. Dizzy, I don't see straight. Drank your Kool-Aid.
Oh, it's all coming together. The K.Flay Bring Me the Horizon expanded cinematic universe.
The Kool-Aid episode. Jordan produced this song.
Why did 2 songs with the lyrics of Kool-Aid come out in the same month within like a week of each other?
Well, because it's cool outside.
It is cool
fair.
outside.
Actually, fair point.
It's not cool, it's cold.
Okay, Canada.
Get out of here with this Celsius.
I mean, with that being said,
Celsius. Yo, I can change our names on the stream now. I'm gonna rename myself Mr. Celsius. And Justin's gonna be Dr. Fahrenheit.
Oh no.
It sounds like a supervillain from like a Bill Nye episode.
Bro,
I do give off some
throwback to
supervillain energy.
Throwback to Justin's, like, one of Justin's first nicknames, Mr. Blooming Your World Up. I don't know why that just came back to me, but it did.
That started the train of us naming
trend,
ourselves. For those that don't know, we have a Discord that we just post our music stuff in, and we rename ourselves periodically to either stuff we're listening to, or in Jacob's sense, complete nonsense. And sometimes we accept it.
Yeah, no.
The rules are very loose.
Very, very loose. Back on this song,
Wait, we
though,
have rules?
I feel like this is actually a really solid K.Flay song. Like, if this was on Mono, this would be, like, pushing top 3 on the album for me. This is really fun. It's got a super catchy melody. The instrumental groove is there. Like, it's a really fun song, and Mono was very hit or miss for me. The songs that hit really hard. This was a hit. This was another hit for me.
I love the like electronic industrial vibe to this. It's really good. I think, now granted, I've only heard a couple K.Flay songs, but I think that this is probably the best K.Flay song that I've heard, and I would say this is top 5 out of the month. I really fuck with this heavy.
Hell yeah. I kind of threw this in on a whim, so I'm happy to hear that.
Fit for a King are back with their newest single, Keeping Secrets.
Can I feel love if I'm keeping secrets? Can I feel peace?
Now, I seem to remember that this was not as well received in the Discord as I would have thought when it dropped. How are you guys feeling about it now?
I think that was just the other two, because I think this is fucking incredible.
I never said anything when that dropped, I don't think. But this is my second favorite release of the month.
Holy shit. Let's go!
I would say this is, like, potentially top 3, so...
Derek.
Yeah.
Did you go to Metalcore Dropouts?
I did not.
What the hell?
I did not. I had a lot going on. Because I also didn't get tickets in time because my girlfriend was supposed to come visit, and then we had to move the flight last minute, so I didn't get tickets, and it had to be last minute, and I couldn't go that on like that short of notice. But I didn't love the Devil Wears Prada's set list, so I looked after. I feel less bad about it now. I would have loved to see this song though, because this fucks.
Yeah. This, like, maybe I'm overreacting here, but when I first heard this, I was like, is Fit for a King about to have a Bad Omens year? With how strong this song is.
No.
Like, I don't think so, but the chorus is fucking massive. It is huge, and, like, I feel like Ryan Kirby is just continually evolving and growing to a point where, like, he's one of the most versatile vocalists in the genre now.
I mean, it's massive, don't get me wrong, and this is one of their best songs that they've dropped for a while, in my opinion. But this is also something that they probably could have or should have released prior. I think they have the talent to have done this before, and I think doing it now is kind of awkward timing. But I feel like, you know, we got a good thing out of it, so I'm not too oppressed by it. But it's just kind of weird. It's kind of like the timing of everything. I feel like before Bad Omens got big, I feel like this could have dropped and still been a hot banger. But I think it might be riding the coattails a little bit.
I feel like he's improved a lot with his singing.
Yeah,
So
Tuck being around a lot on this track really helps too. They had a really great vocal dynamic going on.
I also can't even like hear the difference.
It's because I listened to that Off-Road Minivan album too much. Now I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Off-Road Minivan. What's he doing here?
For me, it's this the breakdown line, the "Can I feel love if I'm keeping secrets?" Sorry.
Got me hanging there.
Yeah, when I heard that, no, is that the line? Maybe that's not the line.
What's the line?
Anyway, I can't pull up lyrics because of this new stream setup.
Say the line, Bart. Say the line.
Anyways, the breakdown call out it made me feel like differently about a breakdown. Like you're making a stank face or whatever, but it hit deep. You know what I mean? Like instead of stank face, I was like, oh, that's something I can relate to. Or,
Yeah.
and that's not something you usually get in like a breakdown. So I'm gonna find the lyric.
I mean, with that being said, like the breakdown still goes pretty nasty. It's one of the best breakdowns of the month for sure, if not the best. Like I think this is like a home run as far as I'm concerned. This is better than everything off of the How We Create. This would be like top 3 song on the path. Like this is one of their best songs, period.
Something I really enjoyed too about the main breakdown in this is it's like gritty and it's harsh, but it's also like pleasant to listen to. I don't know how else to put it. Like it's instrumentally and like the tone of the guitars and stuff, very, very gritty. But it like is very satisfying to hear. I don't quite know how to put it, but it gave me a feeling from a breakdown that I haven't really had in a long time, and I can't even really.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to convey.
Between the two of us, we got it on lock.
Hopefully the viewers understand.
Hopefully, they're just there like, dude, what the fuck are these guys saying? But no, if the rest of this, well, they're not putting out now. I was gonna say the rest of this album cycle, but they're not putting out an album, right?
Yeah, they said this isn't an album. There's not an album this year. I don't know if this is on the album or not, but no album this year.
Okay. Well, whatever this is on, if it's on anything, it's very, very promising. So this is awesome.
Let's move on. We've been talking about this one for a while. We got another band coming back for the first time in a while. We have Yours Truly dropping their first new song since 2022. Call My Name.
You found your way in just to pull me apart, and no time to change. We're stuck in a way that I can't explain, but you keep calling my name.
You're Jacob, right?
Haha, funny.
Oh.
I was so confused.
I was too for a second. I forgot, bro. It's all right. I tried to talk to Jake earlier, and I called him Justin, and then I said, "Oh, sorry, Jacob," and then I went, "Oh, fuck."
It must be hard for you, Derek. 3 J names.
It's rough sometimes,
We'll get
especially
it,
when there's
boys.
Jake and Jacob. Like, fuck you guys. Can one of you change your name to like Greg?
Dude,
I
could
go,
you imagine
"Oh."
if Jake didn't go by Jake though? It'd be 2 Jake.
It'd be over. It'd be over. I'd still
My
call you
middle
fucking
name is Joseph. You're not getting any better.
Dude, it's over.
Yours Truly are continuing a hot streak after a top 5 EP of 2022. This song is incredibly catchy. I feel like they're getting a little bit more grittier and heavier since that EP, and this is straight up my alley. This is like I couldn't have predicted what I wanted out of this band next, but this is it. This is what I want out of Yours Truly. I love everything about this.
Can I just say that I noticed in us saying like gritty that it just sounds like gritty, like the dance, and I can't fucking unhear it. Now it's like I keep thinking about hitting the gritty every time either of us said it. I had to like
Simply do
pronounce
not.
it out in my head.
Simply do not.
It's a skill issue. This is really good. It got to be a little repetitive for me, but in its repetitiveness, it was also very catchy, so I couldn't even be mad at it. Like,
Yeah.
bands are on a very, like, at least from these singles, like established bands seem to be going different directions in 2024, but all in like positive ways.
Yeah.
It feels like the most January of Januaries in that way, like a fresh start, new year, new sound type of thing. Like a lot of bands are nailing it.
Yeah, I really don't have too much more to add on to this song. I just think this is a fantastic song. Happy to have them back. This is actually, if I remember correctly, this is their first new song with a new lineup, because they had some band members leave either last year or late 2022 or something. So Michaela's still fronting the band. I believe one of their guitarists stuck around, but I think they have like a new drummer and new bass player or something like that. I don't know exactly, but they have not missed a beat, even with lineup changes.
Yeah, this fits in with their sound, but is still just there's something that feels a little more fresh to it for the band, and I'm all here for it.
Jacob, I think you got this next one.
Landmarks have released latest single titled Creature.
All this lies from inside the box.
And they have finally done it. They have finally made me like the French rapping. At all,
Really?
This song is so cool. Honestly, I just like it because it's so different in more than a few ways. But like the intro with the French rapping, like I don't think there's any band that sounds like this right now. And yeah, it's just, and then immediately into the song, like I am the creature. It's so cool. I also want to highlight the like breakdown where it like fakes you out with like the drums.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool as well. Like, Derek, you didn't like this one?
It is certainly a landmark song. I think that this is weaker than everything off of Lost in the Waves.
No.
I would take every song on that album over this, personally.
This is
I do-
so.
It is.
This
It is
is
very
them
cool. Don't get me
like
wrong.
creating an identity for themselves. I feel like.
I could see it. I guess for me, they already had like a very distinct identity. Because like there are a bunch of French metalcore bands out there, I feel like, but none of them have that same style of rapping, and there's a certain like I almost want to say like punctuation to his voice that like the way he raps is very distinctive. So to me, they'd already carved out that space. I'm happy to see them experimenting. I don't think this is bad. I really liked all the variation in the ideas on Lost in the Waves. And to me, this doesn't quite hit that same mark, but I think that this is definitely a cool song. I agree with you there. And if nothing else, it shows off the level of creativity that this band has. Because one thing I will say about Lost in the Waves is that it felt like there were a lot of ideas, but they were on different songs, so it kind of hurt the cohesiveness of the album. This has like all the parts together, but it works. It's good. It's good.
Bro, flows like the French Slim Shady. I swear that's how he dresses like him too.
From Eminem.
From Eminem.
That's
Alternatively,
a way to say it.
Eminence.
That is certainly another way to say it.
Wait, Eminem, France, Eminence, Imminence. They're going on tour with Imminence. I've cracked the code. I figured it out, guys. Wait, didn't that tour get announced today?
Yeah, it's Catch Your Breath and a Virtue.
Dude, fuck. Fuck.
Nice try though. Yeah, this song I thought was really cool the first time I heard it, but didn't really have too much staying power for me. There's just a lot of shock factor to this song, and I feel like with this band in general, this band is more shock factor than replayability as far as my ears go. I don't love everything this band does, but like they do a lot of really cool things. And when I listen to them, it's usually enjoyable, but it's not something I'll throw on repeat very often. I think the one thing that stood out to me about this song that we haven't touched on is the guitar tone right after the first chorus and like before that fake out breakdown thing where they like shred a little bit more. I thought that was sick as hell, and I would love to hear more of that, but otherwise everything else has kind of been touched on. It's a very much a landmark sounding song. I definitely think they have a style for sure.
Poor Jacob.
Bro,
It's alright.
It's because I bashed on this band on the album came out. Their previous album came out. Then the deluxe came out and like saved it. Oh,
I was gonna say, I remember that deluxe coming out and you being really high on all those.
Yeah,
songs.
those 3 songs were like god tier.
Death is still their best song in my opinion.
It is it's so fun live.
Were they on this iteration of Metalcore Dropouts? Or was
No,
that the
It
last
was Avoid instead,
pretty good replacement?
which is still a fun live band. So
Let's move on. Justin, you got this next one.
Yeah, Picturesque dropped a song from Long Last called Suffocate.
You don't even care, so why should I care? Take a breath.
We've been comparing this band in different ways to Picturesque for a while, but I think this is probably the most.
Well, I went back, and the reason why is because I think since since Therapy, someone from Picturesque has been helping produce their
Okay.
songs.
So
The production makes sense, and the timelines intermingled.
All right, so I know we coined the term drivecore in our awards. If there was ever a new band to label drivecore, surely it's this
It's
one.
Long Last.
Surely it's
Absolutely
Long Last, right? Like if Long Last is not drivecore, then drivecore is not a genre.
I don't know. This is
It's
from,
not
like,
a genre. We came up with it because we're idiots. And you want me to be frank on that, but if there ever was a genre, we're picking up royalties.
Maybe the real genre is the friends we made along the way.
Absolutely not. That's not how this works.
No, my bad.
This is
something
their
we
best
made along
song
the way.
since the 2021 EP.
I
don't
would
remember that
I would
EP.
agree.
So yes.
I think this is better than everything off that EP.
What?
Unlike a certain member who forgot about the EP, I remember the EP.
I remember the,
The EP
EP.
was
I
good.
just don't remember what it sounds like.
The
Like,
EP was
I-
good.
other than
Feel,
Picturesque.
Reflection, Secrets. But I think
I
this
still-
is-
This is
I
better.
still go back and listen to Feel off that EP. It's still
Yeah.
That is a good song.
Feel is probably their best song still, but this is punching for that throne.
and it's working for it. I don't know if they have like anything planned this year in terms of like album or EP or whatnot, but they've got a good lineup working with the Picturesque boys. I don't know who in particular. They made some comment about it off on Instagram because someone replied saying that it sounded like Picturesque, and I couldn't find that comment before the podcast, but I do remember seeing that they mentioned that someone from Picturesque was helping them produce. So overall, Long Last, new Picturesque, I would say.
If you
These
like
guys just need
Picturesque, listen to this song.
Facts.
Yeah. This is another statement for Drivecore to be a thing, so we can collect royalties. Please and thank you. And also more Drivecore for the Drivecore playlist.
True.
We need them to update their like Spotify bio with like Long Last is a drivecore band from.
Spotify tags, just Drivecore from the 7 explanation, just links to the podcast.
What if it's like Drive/Core? New name.
New name. We've rebranded.
That would mean that Drive is a genre, and I don't
No,
know
I was
the
just
con-
doing it because of their name.
Oh, I thought you meant like hyphen, not slash.
Nah.
Alright, I gotta move on, Jake.
Continuing the streak of bands with full caps names, Nothing More have dropped a brand new song, If It Doesn't Hurt.
You would suck the life out of me. If it doesn't hurt at all, then it doesn't mean a thing. I never knew that
And I am really happy to have this band back after only like a year since Spirits dropped. Because the wait between the stories we tell ourselves and Spirits was a long ass wait. And I was not looking forward to waiting another 5 years to new material. Luckily, I don't have to. This is this is Nothing More, doing Nothing More things. This is at the heavier end of their spectrum, but it sounds like Nothing More, all right. And as someone that's been a longtime fan of this band, I don't have much to complain about.
I do appreciate them leaning more into the heavier side of things, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Both with this and with a couple things off that album. But I'm still not 100% sold. Hey, to me, I'm going to make a comparison. And you guys listen a lot more than I do. So
All right, I'll hear
I'll
it.
appreciate some input. The song feels a little bit theatrical to me and sounds like a less heavy Ice Nine Kills song. Like one of the...
I can see it. I
guess it doesn't have like the lyrical, which I guess
Yeah. I meant more so like
sonically. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Maybe a
big
little
fan
bit.
of- I don't like the theatrical sounding songs usually, so it's no surprise that I'm not a huge fan of this. But it's not bad by any means. I still like this new era of Nothing More. I think having heard their older material, I definitely like what they're doing now more than what they were doing back in 2015. But I'm not convinced. They started the path to convincing me with that last album. Now it feels like the car has stopped. We're like halfway to the destination and the car has been put in park.
You need to refill and get some more gas.
Exactly.
Not drive core. Not drive.
Not drive core. I also want to shout out
nothing more in
the
the
breakdown in this song. That nice one. The breakdown, which is kind of where the theatrical elements come in, with like that high pitch. God, I can't think of the word for it right now. But the call out right before the breakdown of "Run It Right Back," I think is sick as hell. The delivery on it too is really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have too much to add. It's Nothing More doing nothing more. It's very similar to everything off Spirits. So if you like Spirits, you'll probably like this one. And I sure do. So, yeah. Excited to see what else this band has cooking for the rest of the year.
Jake run.
Huh?
Like we're on a Jake run right now.
I thought you were telling him to run.
Oh, yeah. They're coming.
Run, Jake.
I promise there's something
up
coming
next.
A little more urgency in.
Up next, we have Hanabi, who have returned with their song Otaku Something.
東京からだそそらし
I don't know, it's Japanese, whatever.
It is entirely possible that is otaku spelled out in kanji. have we investigated
Kanji?
this? Yeah. Right? Isn't that what it's called?
I have no idea.
I'm not
Fuck,
up to date on Japanese
maybe I
culture.
just pulled the bag. Yo, my bad. If that's wrong, I'll get Duolingo and figure it out.
This is why we have the names under ourselves in the layout.
This song is your friendly reminder that Hanabi has some of the sickest instrumentation in metalcore right now for
Facts.
whatever goddamn reason.
Yeah,
Like, why does this band have the sickest instrumentation? I don't know, but they fucking do. The riffs and the breakdowns of this song go crazy. And it's
My favorite part is the wagga 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 part.
Are you
That's in
sure
the
you're
song,
not
right?
confusing it with the game of Pac-Man? Is there,
Waka waka waka.
is there some potential overlap?
Hold up.
Love some metalcore Pac-Man right now.
There's one thing that I wish this song had, and it's they kind of teased a really sick breakdown. Like, the breakdown in the song is already sick, but they completely drop out the instrumentation for a second before going into this sick like riff that seemingly builds up into something, but it just kind of goes back into like the pre-chorus chorus. And I wish there was an even heavier brutal breakdown in there. It's so close, but like, I mean, it's fine. It's like, I'm not complaining. It's still a good song, but man, I feel like this song could have been something really special with an even crazier breakdown. I'm not one to complain about breakdowns often, but this one's like, there's something in my head that says this could have been even crazier. But other than
Oh,
that
I
one,
can't
for
believe you're complaining about breakdowns, Jake.
Hanabi are sick. For fans of Japanese metalcore, if you're not onto Hanabi already, you should be.
Hanabi hype train.
Fans of
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
I also don't have any of the lyrics pulled up, but if you look at the English translated lyrics, they are funny as fuck. So I will leave that for you to go look into. Anyway, up next on the Jake train, we have Maggie Lindemann with her song Hostage off of an upcoming EP called Head Split, coming out in March.
Hold me close when my voice gets shaky. Be patient with me.
This train ain't stopping.
This train ain't stopping for sure. Maggie Lindemann is following up the debut album Sucker Punch from 2022 in a really strong way. We didn't talk about the single that came out prior to this called Deprecating, featuring Sick Brain, which I thought was pretty underwhelming. But this is very similar to everything off of Sucker Punch. It's got that dark pop beats, pop punk kind of sound to it. And the kind of like distorted guitar tone, it reminds me of like, this is a weird comparison. It reminds me of slow shutter speed, like that sort of aesthetic. Where does that
Of
make
course,
sense?
the camera guy would make the camera.
I
Yeah.
understood what he said.
Like when you shoot at a slow shutter speed and everything is like all the lines are like distorted and blurred and like everything's moving like kind of like
Ever seen a long exposure
jumping
photo, if you
around.
heard of that?
Yeah. I don't know. This song has a long exposure, so shutter speed energy.
I take pictures on my iPhone.
Right? That's where I'm at. I'm like, I know how a phone works.
I know I've seen music videos with that like slow shutter speed aesthetic, but I can't think of any off the top of my head, and I wish I could.
It just makes it look more blurry, guys, if
Yeah.
that's what may.
Either way, I
I'm
think
still
this
unclear.
is a
Could you
fantastic song.
simplify it, please?
When,
Is that a
okay,
joke? Is that a joke on
Yeah,
the photo
yeah.
being?
No, I'm actually gonna explain it. You know, so sports has to be at a high shutter speed because they're moving fast. If it's not at a high shutter speed, they'll be really blurry. A low shutter speed is when there's movement, everything will be blurry. Understand? There you go.
Oh my
You got it.
It's all coming together. Wait, so one more time?
No.
Justin.
We got a new band for a podcast because, of course, no one can stop me. They didn't try, never have. We got The Missing Piece with their single Firework.
Somebody come and save me before it all falls away again. Somebody come and save
The One Piece.
We found it.
Found it. I don't watch it, but
I don't either.
How are we feeling about this DC-based band?
This is really interesting. I was really surprised when this went heavy and like mathy in the second verse.
Yeah.
Like, very mathcore-y. I really dig this. I'm not gonna lie.
Kind
It's a
of-
very interesting song and vibe.
It had like a build up to like some of the other bands that we've talked about previously. None of them like come to mind, but it had like a different build up than I was expecting. So I thought it would kind of just blend in with like a lot of stuff that is a bit more mainstream. But that incorporation with that math sound and those
Mhm.
heavier vocal deliveries, I think really makes this track. Plus, of course, it's pretty good. I was trying to look at it, and I think not this song, but another band that I added to the playlist that we were going to be talking about that we haven't talked about prior. They have very similar production styles. That's why I was trying to bring them up. But I was trying to see if this was produced by a known production artist, and I can't quite put a name to who produced this. But overall, it sounds really clean, really good. Band put out only one other single last year, so they've been putting out at least one single every year, so I don't know if they're like anything's going to come out of this, but still pretty good.
Yeah, I thought like there's potential with this. I don't love it as a whole, but like clearly there's talent here. I think with more time, this band is going to continue to grow and develop. I mean, as most bands do, but I do think this band could eventually drop a song that I really, really enjoy. But this one isn't fully clicking for me.
Well, this clicked with me. I like this a lot. You got me, Justin. I'm ensnared.
Hell yeah.
Did the plot and you get you guys with their newest single, Closure?
You say it's never your fault. Let's carry on with your judgment. I know it's falling apart. There's nothing left to love.
Which I believe is off of a part 1 or 2 EP.
This is off of Volume 2.
2.
Okay. I don't know if I fuck with that release schedule type of thing in the EPs, but I really fuck with this song. I think this is fantastic.
I don't know. Landon sounds good. I think the instrumentation is boring.
Really?
Yeah. Unnecessarily heavy as well.
I don't know if I agree. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna fully disagree. I'm gonna stand on business, and I think that it's because the heavy, like down-tuned guitars give a good contrast to his humming and to the electronic, like higher pitched repitching that goes on in the bridge and then in the, I guess, last verse, if you want to call it that. I really, 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 really enjoyed this. I think this is how I want plot to sound all the time. I'm not going to lie. Like this, the one you loved. I love like Rigged and a couple songs off Swan Song that are a little bit darker, but in my opinion, vibey plot will always be better than heavy plot.
That's true. I don't feel like this doesn't feel vibey to me. I don't
Really?
vibe. No,
I vibe.
it's too heavy. It's too heavy.
Nah, I don't know if it's heavy enough to not vibe to. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the vibe of the song, like the down-tuned guitars, like add to the vibiness of it because they contrast everything else. I could totally like see the angle where it's like too heavy compared to everything else. For me personally, it's working and it's working really well.
Like I honestly, I think this would be my least favorite out of the 4 songs, if all of
Really?
them. Yeah.
Huh.
Like even Forgotten was
I'm
like
on
really-
board with that actually. Like I think this is good. I just think the other 3 are better.
Nah, this is the best.
Thank you. A man of culture.
I got you.
A real one.
I mean,
Wait, no,
if it's
wasn't
worth any
Forgotten.
consolation, I think these 4 singles are better than like this is like if hypothetically
No.
all of these EPs.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Nope.
What?
Stop.
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say
you
it's better
should
than
stop.
Swan Song.
Nope.
I wasn't touching
Mm,
Dispose.
I don't know.
I think these
haven't
4
gone
songs
back
are
to
better.
Swan Song
I
in a
think
while.
these 4 songs are better than most of Swan Song.
I don't know.
We'll get
I
back
don't
to
know.
that
Yeah.
someday.
Let me re-listen to Swan Song.
Yeah, I
That's
need
what
to
was
really
saying.
listen.
I would need a fresh listen for determination there. I was making a very bold claim. We need to do some scientific research.
At least he didn't touch Dispose.
True.
You don't touch Dispose.
Absolutely not. Unless you're me with my 3 vinyl copies.
Of Dispose?
Crispies!
Yeah.
Why do you have 3?
You know?
In case one gets lonely.
Yeah, exactly. I got one, and I'm like, shit, it's going to be alone there with no other copies. It's going to get lonely from when I was at the warehouse with all of them. I got to get 2. Then I was like, shit, what if they have a fight? So I got a
What
third.
if they have a
Vinyl
fight?
are not cats, Derek. Have you learned this?
You don't know what
I
my
really
vinyls
want
do
to
in
see
their
what a
free
vinyl
time.
fight is now.
You know,
I
that's
have
fair.
to know.
I only
I
own
get-
1 vinyl, so I don't know. I haven't been able to test it myself, I guess. Sorry for making
Shit wakes
assumptions.
me up at 5 a.m. They start cage fighting to the D section. My 10 copies of Afterburner have tournaments. Dreamwake are back with their newest single, Memories.
Lost inside this abyss, lies an ordinary man.
Shout out Connecticut.
Yo,
Shout
shout out
out
for Connecticut for
Connecticut.
doing something right for once.
Haven't done something right since the anal
Honestly,
shake.
it's real.
Shout
I don't
out
know if you
Canada.
guys saw.
No reason, just Canada.
Well, I was looking at because the Metalcore Dropout tour came through to Hartford or New Haven earlier this week, and I didn't go. But I saw tweets from the guy from Counterpower tweeting like, "What the fuck is there to do in Connecticut?" And I look at all the replies on that tweet, and everyone's just like, "Leave." Like, there is nothing to do in this goddamn state.
You don't leave for this band though. This band fucks.
Yeah.
This is, yeah. I gotta
Connecticut
say,
may not offer much, but at least we have Dreamwake and Currents.
Facts.
I gotta say, like, this is. I'm gonna make a statement that I hope makes sense. This is my favorite song of the month, but it's not my song of the month.
Got it.
Can those like coexist? Is that possible? I feel like we
Yeah,
all know. What my
I mean,
song of the month
technically,
is, but-
I mean, technically, yes, for like EPs and stuff. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but what I listen to this a lot, like just on repeat. I think this might be my favorite Dreamwake song.
You know, I could agree with that.
Yeah, I love the saxophone in this. Just the instrumentation alone, how it can get so much energy
Mhm.
and then just mellow out and dissolve into like almost a completely different being. It's so fucking good.
My problem with, I guess, Dreamwake is
There is no problem.
the vocals feel inconsistent to me. Like
In
at
what
parts,
way?
especially the clean vocals, like I don't
Mhm.
vibe with them the whole time, especially near the beginning of the song. Like as it progresses, I feel like he's using like a different. I don't know how to say it. I'm not a music nerd, but like a different like tone almost,
Mhm.
and it starts sounding better. Like after
So-
the saxophone solo, best part.
I'm kind of with you. I have a really interesting, at least in my opinion, maybe it's just stupid and doesn't make sense, but like view of this band. You know how with the whole like Dance Gavin Dance thing, or maybe you don't, maybe I'm too far deep in the lore, but like John views his voice as an instrument rather than like vocals.
Sure.
And so he
see
can
that.
just say like nothing. Like he's like outwardly said that. He's like, that's part of why shit doesn't make sense is because just do whatever sounds good.
Mm.
So I view it the opposite way with Dreamwake. To me, the clean vocals are there almost solely as a vocal melody to drive the song forward, and the uncleans to me are the only thing that counts as like explicitly vocals. It's really strange. It's like the only band that I really like feel that way about it, but there's something about the tone on the vocals that like alongside the instrumentals give me that sort of vibe.
I think it's because the instrumentals I think blend really well with the cleans vocals.
They do.
So the uncleans are a contrast, and I think you notice the contrast more.
Mhm.
And that's why it sticks out a little bit more.
I think you might be spot on there. Speaking of instrumentals, this band is as good at creating incredible instrumentals as always. I was scared the production
Yeah.
mixing wouldn't be as good as the last album because I'm like, how the fuck can they keep this up? Turns out, whoever's producing
By going
this
up.
is still the fucking goat. I love how subtle but pronounced the weedly guitars are in the chorus behind the vocals. Dude, it has the sax. It's got the weedly. It's got the breakdowns. Like it's the vocal melody on this chorus is so infectious. This is just a incredible song from an incredible band. They were chilling before this song dropped. Still at around 26,000 monthly listeners. They are now up to 56,000, and this is their most popular song like currently.
I
Not
think
like most played, but
I think if they could do an instrumental album with the last album. And
Album of the year.
Oh, they
Album of the
did. They did actually.
huh?
Yeah, they put out an instrumental album of virtual reality. I didn't know that.
Retroactive album of the year 2022.
It does appear like because they're doing the VHS Streams tour.
Mm-hmm.
I could see something in relation to that dropping this year. Maybe a new album or an EP called VHS Dreams, but they haven't officially announced anything yet.
Dude, if we get like a full, like that last album was what, I think 8 tracks?
Yeah.
It was 9 tracks. So, well, 8 tracks, 1 and an interlude. If we get something that's like 2 songs longer from them this year, that was literally my only gripe with it in 2022. Like, I will not shut up about this band if they come a full length this year. I feel like at this point they can do no wrong. This band feels like it was just tailored to me. I love it.
Speaking of bands that can do no wrong, I don't know why I said bands like
Bands.
bands.
Keeping the energy up.
Alpha Wolf have released their latest single, "Sucks to Suck," featuring Ice-T.
You won't take my grave to the blood of blood. You wanna run your mouth cause you can't keep up. No matter what.
Hell yeah.
This is pretty good. I
think I like Bring Back the Noise more, but yes.
I like this better than
This is the most I've enjoyed an Alpha Wolf song since I heard Akudama.
Damn.
That's
I
cool.
didn't know. All it took was Ice-T.
I also think it's just the harsh vocals feel a little more toned down and less hardcore.
Yeah,
than
I feel like Loki's not using his full range in this song, which is why I don't think I like it as much as Bring Back the Noise.
So the reasons that you don't like this song are why I like this song.
Basically.
I still don't love
also
Alpha
think-
Wolf entirely, but yeah, this is the first. I mean, I didn't listen to A Quiet Place to Die in full. I never ended up giving that a full listen. But like all the singles I've heard from this band, Akudama was really the only one that I enjoyed up until now. And then this comes out, and like the entire time, like there's nothing off-putting to this song to me. That like there's no part where it gets too heavy vocally that it like takes me out of the experience. I'm along for the ride the whole way through.
I love the feature.
It's so perfect, dude.
It's so funny. I also like I said earlier, I love how Alpha Wolf is bringing back, I guess, the noise, if you want to call it that, but like an older sound, a nostalgic sound.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really reflected in the album art as well. Yeah, I don't see anybody doing anything like this that I know of. And it's really cool in my opinion. I thought Bring Back the Noise was gonna be like a one-off, but it looks like the whole album is gonna be like that from going off of this. Also, like after the feature where Loki's like, Ice-T, run amok, count your teeth, pick them up. Oh my god.
That is one thing. I wasn't sold on this. Once the feature and like the post feature kicked in, I'm like, yeah, this is Alpha Wolf is that band. Like, love that shit.
Justin, how do you feel about Alpha Wolf?
Justin, it makes you feel nostalgic, right?
There is no Alpha Wolf in Bot Sing Say. Does that answer your question?
This just gave him nostalgia from before he heard Alpha Wolf. He's
I'm gonna change the lyrics. Dr. Fahrenheit, run amok, count your teeth, pick 'em up.
And on that note, let's talk about this next song. We have.
I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah. We got Bad Omens and Poppy with their song Van, aka Violence Against Nature.
Do you like it or not? Initiate an operation of your own extermination. Now it's too late for you to stop. Violence against nature.
Dude, this fucks. Anybody who says it doesn't is a certified hater.
Oh, I thought
Song
there was gonna
of
be
the
some
month.
discourse here.
Discourse is dead, Jacob.
Keep myself shut.
Justin. Okay, what is not working for you? Is it the poppy vocals? Is
That.
What's the okay?
If there's any reason to not like this song, it is the poppy vocals.
Yeah, I don't like Poppy.
She has an extremely unique taste or not taste. She has just a very interesting voice and vocal delivery, and sonically, like she's very like genre fluid, and I don't know, like you either like Poppy or you don't, and people that don't like Poppy, you're not convincing them to like Poppy, you know?
I mean,
Yeah, one of those.
I don't like Poppy, but I really like this. I don't know. I might have to go re up my Poppy stocks, because this is fucking incredible. There have been some people saying this isn't Bad Omens, this isn't whatever. I had some guy on Twitter defend that this was a bottom 5 song he had ever heard, which was just the most brain dead, stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. I think even though Noah's not on here, right? He's still producing it. It's still very distinctly
he
a
does
Bad Omens track.
he assists with the screams live. If you haven't watched any videos,
Oh,
actually, I watched the clip from the live stream I saw.
That's perfect. I need to go watch that then. I really like the last like Poppy call out before the instrumental half of the breakdown. The "I am death and I am not alone."
Yeah,
it was so well delivered, man. It's so fucking good.
Well,
if we're on the topic of vocal delivery, the entire first verse that Poppy delivers, like it's wordy in a similar way to Like a Villain, and somehow it manages to be so wordy. Yet I've already got like the entire first verse memorized in my head with the amount that I've listened along to the song. And
I think
I don't know.
It adds as well because like there's like lore to this song. I don't know if you guys know, but Van is like an AI in the Bad Omens comics apparently, and that wordiness almost makes it seem like it's an AI, right? Like it's like it can't put together a proper sentence or structure a sentence perfectly or whatever, however you want to put it. But and like you're saying, Derek, the I can erase everything that you know. I'm death. I'm not alone. The vocal effect on that, or not the vocal effect, the effect on that also sounds to or lends to the lore. I also think this is a statement from Bad Omens saying,
absolutely.
Yeah,
the Bad Omens is not just Noah.
there's no way it's not.
Noah is a lot of Bad Omens, but he is not just Bad Omens.
No, and he's still here. So it's like, I don't know. It's just so. You dropped this as an instrumental. I'm assuming it's like a VIP version of like, what do you want from me? You know, like it's so distinctly this band's identity. Like, I don't know. People say, "Oh, it's not Bad Omens." Like, okay,
but actually, yeah, it's different from What Do You Want From Me in that the vocals are more on top, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like in that song, they're more drowned out, and obviously that's a stylistic choice, but excellent song.
Yeah. I've been trying, like, I wanted Letter Sent Home to have my favorite song of the month, but, like, realistically, it's just Bad Omens. Like, it feels almost cliche to say, oh, Bad Omens dropped my favorite song of the month. What a shock. I mean, I guess I could make the same argument for myself about Letter Sent Home, but, like, really, it's, like, Bad Omens are just on another level, it feels like. And
yeah, I kind of agree.
For as controversial as this song
is,
it's just the production, the vocal delivery, the instrumentation. It's just a full package of like a modern metalcore. I don't know. It's not really metalcore, but I don't know. It just sounds so modern and fresh and Bad Omens, and yeah, I love it.
watch the stream.
Definitely gonna have to.
So I know we've praised this song a lot. I also just want to reiterate that I think it is completely acceptable to not like this song. I think because it is like
I'm
pushing
glad
the
you
boundaries,
accept me
and it's
for
a
once,
very
Jay.
and it's a unlike in League of Legends.
Yes.
It's just like this is of any Bad Omens song, I can understand why people would not like this song compared to any other song this band has ever put out. So I think with that being said,
Justin's
we're
got a
gonna move
banger
on.
for us next.
Ooh,
He
I like
also
what you
broke
said.
up my 3-song streak.
I'm sorry. Not. We got Out of Vision, another new band for the podcast, dropping their new single, Dissolve. I want to put a comparison out there. Now that Derek said banger, I'm okay with saying this.
Okay.
This is a heavier Leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that feels like a very accurate assessment.
And this fucks. It's really good.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite Out of Vision song. I remember they showed up on Dreambound a while ago, and I was like, okay, this band has potential, and I've been listening to the singles they've put out. I think this is their best song so far.
You linked one of their earlier songs like a couple months or years ago, however, whenever that came out. I didn't get a chance to listen to it then. And then fucking Instagram, of all things, has finally decided that they want to cater to my music tastes, which I enjoy for once. And like several of these ads from this month were because of Instagram ads. And this is like one of the bands that really caught me off guard with their new material because it's so fucking clean. The atmospheric instrumentation of this song just goes places. It's so good. Not to mention the vocal delivery. This is a German-based metalcore band, so it's very hit and miss depending on the genre and the right time and tone. But I think this really hits the spot.
Yeah, I got a love-hate relationship with German metalcore, but this is on my good side. This chorus
Hell
is
yeah.
incredible, dude. This is a
Yeah.
It's so good.
fucking awesome song. How many? Hold on, let me see. How many monthly listeners these guys
They have 4,500.
So Justin Special. If they're from Europe and they have under 20,000 monthly listeners, it's only a matter of time before
Yo-
the Justin radar reaches you.
Derek, I think
Uh-huh.
between the two of us, one of us Jake has Asia, Justin's got Europe. Australia's off limits.
Yeah.
Australia.
Australia.
Australia is the
we-
Switzerland of metalcore.
Who?
No, I was gonna say we have
get-
split custody of Australia.
That's true. Who's gonna take Africa and who's gonna take South America?
Justin's got South America on lock, I think.
Yeah, Justin,
Yeah,
shit.
I was about to say, if we're playing risk here, like I've got half the world pretty much on lock.
Bro's
I'll
got
get
pizza
Antarctica.
on every toe.
See ya.
Yeah.
It's cold there.
Yeah, let me go down to get my daily dose of Antarctican metalcore.
Antarctica.
Is that the way? How do you describe somebody?
No, Antarctica, not Antarctica.
Wait, what? Did I see
You
it?
said Antarctic,
Yeah.
not Antarctica.
It's my first stroke of the year.
Man,
Oh.
I had one before you though during Fit for a King. So,
But like that's all to say that Out of Vision this sounds really fucking good. I haven't gone back and listened to their other stuff, so this might push me over that limit to do so if this isn't attached to anything. I don't think it is. I think they're just kind of building their discog right now, but who knows?
Yeah, the other song of theirs that I remember liking was Deceiving Lights, which came out late last year.
That was the one that was on Dreambound.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we got Bill Murray coming up with their single, "Better Hell," in parentheses, "Thick Boy."
When they ask who hurt you, point the finger at myself, but I think of you. It's in the past, but I still do. No, I'm not in heaven yet.
Please.
Y'all want to hear a crazy statement?
This is your favorite Bill Murray?
No. Close, but if you told me at the end of January 2024 Bill Murray would have a top 10 song of the year, I wouldn't believe you.
Oh shit.
It's only January, though.
It is only January, and it's sitting at that number 10 spot, and it's probably already been kicked out by Normandy as of February 1st. But January 31st, 2024, Bill Murray was a top 10 song of the year. And given how whelmed I have been by Bill Murray releases ever since y'all have tried to get me onto Bill Murray with Eggy Pocket, god damn does it feel good to finally say that I thoroughly enjoy a Bill Murray song, and it has been on repeat.
I'm glad you waited until the Normandy special before you kicked them off.
His vocal delivery across this entire song, I feel like there's so much more energy to it than usual. I don't know. Maybe it's just the Bill Murray unenjoyer in me that, like, is whelmed by everything else he's done. But I don't know. Something about this one, just, there's so much more energy to this song.
I think Bill Murray is my gateway into country music. If I ever get there, it will be my gateway.
Dude,
You need to hear the song that I posted in the chat yesterday.
The fucking like the country instrumentation to this song and the fucking Japanese kanji on the single artwork, like
What's going on here? And also, it still sounds like really modern as well. I don't know.
It sounds like Bill Murray, and I have no fucking clue how they do it every goddamn time.
Is he producing it just himself? By the way,
I think so.
like, is he making these all by himself, or
No, I mean he's got a band, so he's got like connections and stuff.
But is he like a sleep token where he does it all himself?
As far as I know,
Pretty much, yeah. The production is Johnny Frank, and Johnny Frank is Bill Murray, so
Yeah, that's cool.
crazy.
Now, I have a question for you, Jacob. After listening to this song, is the Better Me by Beartooth any better?
No.
Better Hell versus.
Well, I'd
Better
have
Me.
to go back and listen to it, but as of right now, no. I will say, I think Bout a Cashew is slightly better than this song. I saw that song live and it changed my life.
No.
So it was a really good tour, honestly.
I still need to see him
I
live.
really encourage you to see Bill Murray live.
Definitely need to. Feels like that energy is always there with them.
All right, Justin.
We got the home team, which I think this is the first time we're talking about them on the podcast, with their new single "Brag."
If you ain't got it, but let me know you're listening, so I can need a bottle of your doubt. I couldn't be a singer if I wanted to.
This is my single of the month.
As it fucking should be, man.
I've heard so
fucking
much.
good.
I've heard so much about this band. I feel like Loveless has mentioned them before, and then Brian filled in for Issues shows.
Mm-hmm.
This was my first time listening to a song from the home team, and
Mm.
yeah, I have been actively avoiding the good shit.
This is so fucking good. They're like, I only listened to a little bit of Loud before this dropped, and that's mainly because of TikTok. I think the home team have a really good stance there that's starting to build up. But this blows anything that they've done out of the water at this point. It's so fucking clean. It's got a really good, high energetic sound all throughout. That chorus can instill the dance of someone who hasn't walked in their life. Like, that is so fucking clean. Brian, I will say, I think that we have seen bands every year, like, kind of blow up. Last year was Sleep Token. The year before, can't remember who it was the year before. 2021 was, Bad Omens was 2021. The year before was Catch Your Breath. Catch Your Breath in 2022, I would say, because that's when
Bad Omens was 22. Bad Omens was 22.
No, because because we did have the concert. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm getting my years mixed up. I think Brian, and in this sense, the home team, is this year's. I think if there's an album this year that is this high energy and like this kind of style, I think they could blow up massively. Brian already filling in for issues as the vocalist really gives him that kind of vocal range into like fitting into like different genres and whatnot. But this, where he's in his own turf, like it's phenomenal. I need to go back and listen to Loud, but I think both of them are pretty synonymous. But this is just so infectious.
Yeah, I got nothing to add.
I would recommend you guys listen to Slow Bloom.
Slow Bloom was really good. It didn't kind of grasp me at the time when I listened to it, so I need to go back to it.
Very, very good album. Retroactively, I would say probably a top 15 album of 2021, if not higher. Very, very good band. But I do agree with you, though. I think that this is the best iteration of the home team that we've seen yet. And if we're getting an album like this, shaping up to be a home team kind of awards season come December. We'll see.
I'm down for it. I got another new band for the podcast for you all because you guys let me have my own way. We got After Dusk, a US based band from Alabama, dropping their new single, Dig My Own Grave. This is coming off of a album they had dropped last year, so this is their new era style music. And how we feeling about it?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good, not great.
This doesn't feel like a Justin song.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I think there were moments on a lot of the songs you added this month, Justin, of the few, where I was like, "Is this a Justin song? I don't know if this is a Justin song."
This is produced by the same guy that is producing the Levels EP.
Okay.
And there's some other work that he did that I was going to make note of, and I'm trying to find his portfolio, because he had it on his portfolio, and I'm trying to find it, so hopefully I'll find it before we stop talking about this. But I really like the chorus, the heavier vocals kind of blending in and almost acting like a leaping off point. I found it. It is Jonathan Dolesi. He's producing the Levels EP. He produced Reese Young Dark single for UNFD. Most recently, he did Chaos Control by Spirit Leaves and Wandering by Sequoia. So he's got a really good repertoire, and I think this is the production on this. I think is what really sells it for me.
It's really well done. I dropped this band a follow because I want to know more of what they do.
I definitely recommend Tangled Roots and Plastic Memories off of their last album. Tangled Roots is the closer, so I would, if you really go into that, I would probably just give the full album a listen at that point. Okay. But that was probably the standout song that really got them in my my sites, because after listening to this, I listened to their top 5 songs that have been most played or highlighted songs, and those really stuck out for me. So I would definitely give this band a good listen, and just all alone, I think this band has got some good stuff cooking up.
Derek, that takes it to you for these next 4 songs, pretty much.
Oh yeah, shit. Bad Wolves have dropped their newest song, Knife, featuring AJ of Issues.
Tell me, help me understand why all things been displaced. No more drowning in anger, find another.
Featured not on vocals, but on guitar, with 1 month into the year, the best riff I've heard all year. I love the grooviness of it, and it provides, this is the, I'm going back to Issues for a second. This is the thing that pisses me off, because everything they're featured in, any member of Issues, whether it be like Josh Manuel on drums, anything like that, in this case, AJ on guitar, you can feel that groovy creative influence, and it's just like, fuck, man, like, this band's way too talented. When you combine it with this new iteration of Bad Wolves, you get probably my favorite Bad Wolves song in 3-4 years, I would say. Probably
This
my
is
favorite.
definitely like up there. Like, we didn't talk about the last album, which was called Die About It, I think it was. It came out late last year. I thought it was a very okay album. I think this would be like top 2, top 3 song on that album, if not the best. I think Die About It as the title track was really good, and there's one other song that I really liked from it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
This is my favorite since the new vocalist, because I still really like the zombie cover that the old vocalist did, and Remember When.
yeah.
I really vibe with this song until he starts singing. And then it's just like, nope, don't
It
like
is.
it.
It's very
Howard Jones.
Howard Jonesy. Yeah. What I will say, I feel like he has a little bit more like, I don't know how to put this. I think of music in like colors a lot of the time. He has a lot more. This is gonna sound fucking crazy. It's gonna be institutionalized. He has a lot more like gray to his voice, whereas like Howard Stern has a lot, or Howard Stern, holy fuck, Howard Jones has a lot more like gray. Howard Stern. Yeah, somebody just put me down already. But no, like, I don't know. I guess there's a little bit more, I would say, like grit or depth to his voice on the lower end, whereas Howard Jones has more on the higher end. And when it keeps that higher end, it feels like too epic for me. I can't do it. But like this, it's right on the borderline, but it's enough for me that I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I didn't think I'd be adding a Bad Wolves song to the playlist in the year of our Lord 2024, but I'm very pleasantly surprised by this, and I would love for potentially AJ to be involved with the band full time in the future, maybe, please. Because they got Skyline and 21 Pilots. I don't know what Josh is doing. I need these guys to go do more things that I can listen to. It's not fair.
I always forget how heavy Bad Wolves are sometimes, because I think of them as like the Octane rock band.
I think of their
And then
zombie cover all the time.
And then I go back to Bad Wolves, like especially the new material, and I'm like, oh shit, this band just gets heavy as fuck sometimes.
Yeah, they had some like metalcore-ish, I would say maybe hard rock songs before, but like I feel like getting the old vocalist from the Acacia Strain is like one way to guarantee that your band gets heavier, which is really good. So I wasn't quite sure what to think with that vocalist change, but I'm gonna be honest, I like him way better than I do Tommy Vex. Plus he's like
I mean, Tommy was not a great person, but
no, I was about to say, plus he's a lot less shit of a person than Tommy
right.
was. Bare minimum should not be encouraging domestic abuse. I don't know how we got here, but anyway. On the next stop, on the fucking Derek train here at the end of the playlist, we've got Affinity featuring Concrete Castles on their newest song, Without Me.
Why you keep moving on without me?
It's that time of the year where we get a melodic EDM song featuring Concrete Castles. It's a yearly winter tradition at this point.
Is it?
I want to say, didn't Stronger come out last January or February, Jake?
I don't remember.
I think the year before that there was
Research. Time for some research.
Right. I think the
Appears
year
on-
before that was
Stronger was April 2023.
Oh fuck. Okay, first half of the year, we're broadening the scope. This a little less heavy, I would say, instrumentally than that, if I can even call it that, but really tapping into the melodic side here. I cannot get over how good her vocals sound when they're like produced in the EDM melodic style. Like they have a very similar effect on him in this as they do in Stronger, and it really takes her already like, I don't know, it's like sharp but soft at the same time voice, and adds these layers onto it that just, it's so satisfying to listen to. I cannot get enough of it. It's like every time I hear her on an EDM song, I'm like, is she one of the best vocals of all time? It gives me the same vibe as I get from Kirelli Castillo. So, I mean, you know how high I am on her.
Once again, reiterating my frustration that Conquer Divide and Concrete Castle split the Icon for Hire tour and weren't together on it.
They knew that tour would be too powerful.
It's true.
Yeah.
You would have imploded.
Exactly. He
My phone would not have come. My phone would not have left that show at 1% battery the way it did.
Dude, it like you would have gotten.
My phone would have been dead by the time Icon for Hire got on stage.
It would have been over. You wouldn't have been able to record Get Well. Did you even record?
I didn't.
Get Well?
No, I only got Make a Move.
Damn.
Anyway,
Shout out.
Concrete Castles and
Isn't your
Audra
phone
incredibly
dead
talented.
now?
My phone is dead now. Yeah, I'm using I'm using my dad's backup Pixel 3a, which is like 6 years old, as an
Oh, that's
interim phone.
sweet.
Nice.
Gets the job done. I can scroll social media and text people. That's all I really need it for. Anyway,
Until you go to a show.
Facts, then it's cursed. Milo Sky have dropped their newest song, Beyond You, featuring Johnny Craig. Of many various projects, and then not, and then also remembered, and then left, and then now question mark. I've never heard of Milo Sky before.
Famous MacBook seller.
Authorized Apple resale.
No, unauthorized.
Unauthorized. So I never heard of this band before. This just popped up in my release radar because I listen to Johnny Craig's solo stuff every once in a while. I really fuck with this. This vibe is exactly what I want out of. I would say there isn't a band on earth that couldn't give me a song like this, and I wouldn't like it. Like, this is just so far up my alley. So when you get Johnny Craig, who is an incredible vocalist, and this
Nothing else.
Yeah. Vocalist very heavily emphasized. And Milo Sky, which appears to be a very talented band, you get one of my favorite songs of the month. Stuff's incredible. I love it.
yeah, I don't really have too much to say on this one either. It's like Johnny Craig has an incredible voice, but
Yeah, I like how the song picks up, but it didn't stick with me long term.
which leaves us with just one final song, I believe.
Yeah,
although
let's
Derek's
wait for Derek.
AFK for a moment, so just in case he has any last words he wants to say on this Milo Sky song, we'll give him the chance, and then if not, we'll move on to our last single of the month.
So what's everybody got going on this weekend?
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
Derek, any last thoughts on this Milo Sky song?
I need to go check out more of this band. Check out this song. Shit slaps. I have no doubt the original material does too, given how good the quality of this song is.
Is this a was this single already released and then they got the Johnny Craig feature for a new iteration of it?
I don't know why.
Okay. I was asking. I
Oh,
didn't know what you were referring when you said that, so
no,
that's what I thought I would ask.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Nope. This looks to be new,
Cool.
but they've only got 6 total songs, so we're early on in the hype train. It's not too late to hop on.
Hell yeah.
All right, our final single of the month then is a special one. And I'm just going to segue into a segue because it feels wrong for me to be the one making the transition.
Jacob, you added it.
No, it's you. This is you, Mr. Icon. You're the icon of the Discord.
Too Close to Touch have dropped their newest single, Control.
Maybe I'm at peace. They sing. You were never meant to sleep, so won't you stay here?
Off of an EP called Four Keeps, which is releasing, March 6th or 8th?
Something
March
like
8th.
that, yeah.
Which I recently found out that Keeps was like a nickname that they had for Keaton. So the name of the EP is For Keaton, and that kind of just devastated me
Makes
emotionally. So, out of all the I'm Hard to Love, But So Are You EPs, I loved them all, every single song on them. But I found myself at points wishing for that more post-hardcore-y sound that they had on, especially Haven't Been Myself, and in the songs afterward, which was Before I Cave In, Burn, and Leave You Lonely. And this fits that vibe of those 3 standalone singles so well. It's very bittersweet hearing this. The chorus especially, deeper and deeper it goes. Why am I sinking? Why am I stopping? Everything that's going to save me. Hearing that after knowing that, at least as far as I know, he died from pancreatitis. It was related to drug-related issues, which I cannot blame him for at all, given literally everything he had to fucking go through. But hearing this written and sung as somebody struggling with substance abuse, and then knowing that he's saying I'm stopping everything that's going to save me, he's aware of it but he can't stop, and then now hearing it after his passing, it just hits so much fucking harder.
Yeah.
That being said, on a more positive note, this fucks.
If this was earlier in the month, this would be my single of the month.
Yeah, there was it came out 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Literally, no, yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
No, it came out 2 days ago in my heart.
Sure.
Dude, Eric Ron producing a Too Close to Touch song is Midas. It's the Midas touch. There is nothing that this band can't do partner with Eric Ron. And it makes me miss Keaton. It makes me grateful for the material that we had. It makes me grateful for this EP that's coming up. I am not prepared for... I know that I'm going to hear this along with everything else in the EP. I'm going to hear the closer, and it's going to be over.
Yeah, the closer is going to be what fucking hurts the most.
I'm going to have to take off from work or some shit. I'm not going to be okay that day. But for now, we got this, which fucking slaps. I like this better than Hopeless. It's a different vibe, almost.
Oh, so it's a top 10 song of the year.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have a lot more to choose from. But
I really enjoy...
This thing's got to make a running.
Better, in my opinion.
You enjoyed Hopeless better?
Yeah.
I mean, given the song just came out, compared to everything else on the playlist, I still need more time to really formulate what I think of it, but I feel like Hopeless hits more of an emotional chord with me, whereas this, there's more shock value to Hopeless, I feel like, with that extended scream thing. Whereas this, I feel like, is a catchier song as a whole, and something that I'm more likely to have on repeat. It reminds me a lot of some of my favorite songs from Too Close to Touch, songs like Comatose or Sympathy. And just like in the melody of the chorus in that way. And yeah, I'm just like I feel like the more time that passes, the more I come to appreciate this band. I don't think I fully appreciated them when you introduced me back in 2018, and it took me a little too long to fully appreciate the talent that this band had.
I'm glad you're there now. That's all we need.
I really find Keaton's screams in this almost like haunting, and it's so good.
They're always really haunting to me. I feel like I don't know if it's at this point just because the perception I have of it, but like
I don't think anyone else does it quite like Keaton did.
No, nobody does, nobody can. He was one of a kind, and I'm very sad that we lost him, especially so young. But to have this as a send off is
the best thing that could be done.
Yeah. I didn't know I needed these in my life until they came, and now I'm like, fuck, like I don't
like,
know
what are you gonna do when you get more? It's like fucking, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, but it's gonna suck.
No. The music's gonna be amazing, but the fucking emotional distress, the emotional distress is gonna be rough.
I think it's kind of poetic. This is the last song in the playlist.
Yes.
Yeah. Until the
single.
EPs and albums.
Well,
Transition.
you know what I meant.
Shall we get talking about some EPs then? We got 3 EPs to talk about today. First one, if it was released a week prior, would have been a top 5 EP of last year, in my opinion. Let's talk about Advents and their EP, Persona Melodies. I assume you guys don't have as much to say about this compared to me, so if you guys have any quick thoughts to get out the way, the floor's open.
It's okay. Carry on.
Yep.
What I have to say is, like, I didn't expect it. Like, it feels a little, like, experimental but familiar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. I draw a lot of comparisons to We Came as Romans, particularly the newer album. And then a little bit of Wage War as well, at times.
I'd say it's more electronic than that.
Yeah.
I almost want to say,
yeah.
like, what's a good example? Come back to me.
Yeah.
It'll come to
so,
me.
point being, 2023, in general, across the 4 of us, was a very underwhelming year for EPs. For Advents to come out week 1 of 2024 with a 4-song heater of an EP that is this short, this consistently good, and this replayable, like all 4 songs on this, Red 13, LC, Chroma, and Never Game Over, are all really solid, fun metalcore songs that easily would have placed itself in my top 10, probably even top 5 EPs of last year. And I think it's even more impressive that they saved the best song for last with Chroma. It doesn't say on the EP, by the way, but it features If I Were You in the bridge into the final chorus. It's Chroma is probably the softest song on the EP, but I feel like that's kind of where it shines. It's got a really fun chorus, really catchy chorus as well, but it also gets heavy in the verses as well. And I feel like that's where this EP shines. It's at the heavy moments. The instrumentation is so crisp, and like every single call out into a heavier moment is just sick. In LCD, the call out before the breakdown is "You'll Always Be Alone." At the end of the song, before the final breakdown, "You'll fucking die alone." And then in the chorus of that song, it's "Empathy you've never known, apathetic to the bone. So let's hear your case about how you're more than just a waste of space." Just the delivery on the harsh vocals across this entire EP, but particularly on LCD, I think stood out. Another moment that I want to call out on Chroma is the delivery on "Don't Call It a Leap of Faith" at the end of the chorus. And at the end of the song where you get the harsher delivery of the Don't Call It a Leap of Faith. And then on the final song on the EP, Never Game Over, the delivery on It's Never Game Over into another just sick breakdown. This is one of the most promising smaller metalcore bands that I've discovered in recent years. And I am thoroughly impressed with this. This is their sophomore EP. Their debut self-titled EP came out in 2021, and I thought it was okay. White Flag was by far the best song off of it. These 4 songs blow everything off that debut EP out of the water, and I think there is massive promise to this band going forward.
I will be interested to see where they end up. Because this shows a lot of promise, but I'm waiting for it still. I'm waiting for that song that'll get me.
Mm-hmm.
There were moments on here where it was close, but nothing quite did it.
Yeah, I think for me it was like, none of the other 3 singles that came out last year ended up in my Wrapped or my Best of the Year playlist, but they were all like good songs that I remembered enjoying. And then this EP comes out and I'm like, it reminds me like, damn, I think I underrated those songs when they came out as singles. Cause like listening to these 4 back to back, like I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I like all 3 singles got better. And next to Chroma, which in my opinion is the best song on here, it's just, this is, yeah, as I said, this would have been a top 5 EP of last year had it released a week earlier.
I'm ready for you to come back to me.
Yes.
My answer is Motionless in White, like their newer stuff.
Okay, I can see it. That's a fair take. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's move on. Justin.
Another new band for the podcast. We got Bloodveil dropping their EP Hollow Heart.
The blood of our past, I knew I wouldn't last because you'll always come first. You'll always come first.
Debut EP.
Debut EP, should mind you.
I remember seeing this pop up on my feed at one point. I don't remember from who.
Me.
Maybe
It was me.
like the afternoon you did it like 20 minutes beforehand. You did post it in the Discord. I want to say it might have been Nightlife. I'm not 100% on that.
It was Nightlife. That's how I got into them.
Okay,
Was
so it's
fucking
all
Hansel.
Bro,
Hansel and his nonsense.
bro, I was gonna say, I think the first song on the EP reminds me of Sleep Token.
Yes.
Then I'd read in the chat, please don't call us Sleep Token. Please don't call us Sleep Token. Please don't call us Sleep Token.
That was
See,
the only context I had going into this.
I'm making the comparison, but it's not like the full picture.
No.
That's what I wanted to say is I want to say however this ended up on Twitter with like Nightlife. Somebody's like, oh, it's like Sleep Token, and then Justin, you said in chat, it's like Sleep Token, and I heard
So
and I was
It's
like,
not.
oh,
It's not like Sleep Token.
First gives me that like
not.
sort of vibe, but never again. There is not a single other point on this whole EP where I'm like, this sounds like Sleep Token. I don't
No.
get it.
I just
So-
think first does in the way the song is structured and how it builds is the only way I would see that.
Yeah,
It's almost like Sleep Token released Take Me Back to Eden last year, and suddenly anything that sounds even remotely genty in the instrumentation is now just Sleep Token.
Well, that's kind of the problem that we got nowadays. It's like it's
Like,
really hard to
if
kind
this
of.
release is 3 years ago, this is just gent.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be a
that's-
guy who's never heard any other gent bands than Sleep Token. I'm getting a lot of Sleep Token vibes here.
that's kind of the problem we're at now. It's like really hard to define a genre, but you can define a song sounding like another band when it's not that. And I feel bad because I went into this EP really, really loving First. That was
See where this is going for you.
that was like my gateway into this EP. So I went into it pretty well. The Uncleans. I am known as unapologetically not enjoying too heavy Uncleans, and it kind of takes me out a little bit. But mine was also really good. The instrumentals alone in this EP really sell it for me.
The instrumentation is super crisp, that's for sure.
You don't like the pig squeals?
I was so shocked when I heard that.
Yeah.
Because we went from first to Antidote, and I was like, okay, like I fuck with the vibe switch. The pig squeals came in. I was like, hold on.
Is this the same band?
Yeah, right. I was like,
That's
how did we
mainly why.
get
That's
here?
mainly why I included the band, because I was like, they're doing a lot of cool shit. Like, I can't appreciate this because of the way I listen to music, but I know my good friends can.
I was about to say it's too heavy for Justin.
It gets a little too heavy. It gets a little too heavy for me at times, but like, there's also enough good moments to where like I can tolerate it.
It's brief enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, I don't know if you're in the same boat as me. I'm going to make a statement. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
I think that the level of like vocal experimentation, maybe not necessarily doing something new, but like pushing the range to the most of what it can be, it's all over the place across the EP. And to the sense where it feels disjointed, but at the same time it works because I have no fucking clue what's going to happen next. And I'm like, how heavy are we going? Like, are we scaling it up to like an 8 or a 9? Like, are we dialing it back to the average metalcore 6? Like, where are we going? And then just like these beautiful cleans kick in instead. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It felt like a trip to me almost from like
This EP is a wild trip.
It is a wild ride.
In the best way possible, I will say.
It's cohesive, but it's not, but it is. Like, it's definitely one of those things where I need to like go back now that I've heard it, because I've only heard this front to back once.
This is the type of EP that benefits from a re-listen.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I need to find out, like, okay, now that I know a little bit what to expect, and I'm not like constantly like, where are we going with this? Like, being able to like appreciate the lyrics, and then maybe once I get into the lyrics, the way that the vocals are delivered alongside them. Like, I think that there's definitely more to this EP, but the first listen is definitely like, I don't want to say shock factor, but it's close. Like,
no, shock factor is fair. Shock factor is fair.
Kind of like the Landmark song almost.
Mm-hmm.
We got the vocalist in chat and stream. His comment, "I gotta keep y'all on your feet." It's really
that's
really what sells it.
I had no fucking clue what to expect next at any given point. I mean, the other times I'm like, okay, breakdown here, and then it gave me a really nice breakdown. I will say, Justin, I agree with you. I think the instrumentation here is really, really strong. Very groovy, very genty. I was surprised to hear this from a band this small. I feel like the ideas that are here and the way that they're being executed is definitely like befitting of a band that isn't just dropping their debut EP. I will say, for like future full-length releases, I think that kind of level of variation in the vocals works on something like an EP. I don't know if I would fuck with a full-length album in the same style. I think that I don't want to say gimmick, because it's not gimmicky at all, but I hope that makes sense. Like that sort of back and forth, up and down, like it would be a little jarring to hear. Yeah. I think like to see more cleans, if I'm being honest. I think of everything on here, the cleans are my favorite part. I like all the individual parts and the way they come together. I wish there were more cleans on here.
I think the final track is probably the best way possible to kind of get the most and the best out of both worlds.
Very
I ain't gonna try to pronounce that. You can't make me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Oasis.
Ole. But no, like, I think that's the best of both worlds, and I think like it should be looked at if you actually want to do a full release product. You don't need to. Not a lot of bands do full release albums, but this alone, like, it's criminal how this band has gone under so many radars.
I mean, to be
only
fair, this band, they released their first song. They released their first song like 2 months ago.
I know, but still, 800 monthly listeners. Like, Spotify needs to pick these guys up and throw them into the crowd at this point is criminal.
Guys, I
feel
googled
like-
it.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
Moises is the goddess in Greek mythology of pain or distress.
Mm.
Okay. So now, again, that's one of those things. With context, I need to re-listen.
Yeah,
I want to
It-
unpack this.
it really blends well too with first.
Yeah, that
Um,
is one thing I really enjoy on like an EP album, whatever, when the opener and the closer work well together so that it can create that more cohesive experience. I think that's definitely very well achieved here. It's definitely the prevalence of the cleans in the closer, I would say, compared to the rest of the album besides the opener. Like that vibe kind of brings it full circle, which I can appreciate. Yeah, overall, very, very solid debut EP.
I feel like we've
Great
been saying,
showings.
like, the floor for bands these days is so high. Like, to be able to
Mhm.
come out with a debut EP that's already sounding this crisp, you know?
Back in my day, debut EPs didn't sound like
Back
it,
in
unless
my
you were
day.
like Sunsleep. Sunsleep was pulling it off, but yeah, I'm excited to see where this band goes next. I think depending on the direction, it could either, I don't want to say make or break it, but like there is definitely a direction that I would like to see the band progress their sound in.
Okay.
Time will tell,
Um,
but I really fuck with this overall.
Aiden and in the chat, who's the vocalist of Bloodveils, is making comments as we're talking about his baby.
I'm getting
uh,
real-time answers.
The EP is a linear story based on real life growth post breakup, so the lyrics do make a lot of sense in that. So
Okay.
I definitely need to give this another full re-listen
Yeah,
with
definitely.
that in mind now.
Definitely something that, if done well, I could certainly relate to. So we will see. Time will tell.
We've talked a lot about this. I think we're kind of going in the motions, but I will say that this is definitely a band to keep your eye on. And if an album being worked on says they're mainly focusing on cleans,
Ooh.
good call on that. And sorry, I know my audience.
He knows
But,
what he wants.
I do recognize my biases. But yeah, this band, only 800 monthly listeners, criminal the amount of talent.
We'll see how things shape up. If there is a
Yeah.
cleans focused album or an album with more cleans on it, I am very heavily invested.
Does that take
All
us to
right.
our final EP for the month then?
Jake, sign us off on E EPs.
Yes. We have Dream State, who have released their EP, Still Dreaming.
Bad, wasted the day away, wondering what's beyond the veil. A different perspective of my life, never knowing.
Which is funny because they're called Dream State and the EP is like Still Dreaming, so like it makes sense, right? Yeah, cool. I have mixed feelings about this one. Derek, I don't know if you got to this.
I did not. I was kind of
Yeah.
waiting to hear what you would have to say
Yeah,
about it
so
because I know
here-
you're
here's
like
the
the
thing.
dream stake authority.
Yeah, for context, Primrose Path, this band's debut album back in 2019, my favorite album of all time. CJ leaves the band in 2021, early 2022, and they find a new vocalist, Jesse, and they released the Untethered EP last year, top 5 EP last year. And this is the follow-up. Untethered was only 3 songs. This is the first like proper big release that Dream State have with Jesse as their new vocalist. And it is really close to hitting the mark. Songs like Still Dreaming are exactly what I want to hear from this band. It has that Dream State type of energy to it that I've come to know and love. And the breakdown at the end of Still Dreaming is incredible. The introduction interlude into Still Dreaming, which was in the music video back when Still Dreaming came out as a single forever ago. Being able to hear the introduction into Still Dreaming on Spotify in the form of the EP, it really elevates it. And I don't feel like you get an interlude intro track on EPs very often. That's typically something reserved for an album. So being able to get that on an EP, I feel like really sets it apart. Chin Up Princess never stuck with me too much as a single, but it's solid. Then you get to Calling Out an Anxious State of Mind, which I think are both really solid songs, not to the level of Still Dreaming, but they have Jesse's vocals are getting better. The instrumentation is solid like usual. Again, I haven't had a ton of time with this EP as it is just about a week old as of recording this, but like there's a lot to like here. And then you get to track 6 or 5, depending on if you count the interlude. Set Free. It's a 3-minute track, and they did the novelists thing of putting a 3-minute instrumental interlude, and it just killed all the momentum for me. I'm being real, because without Set Free, this probably is a top 5 EP of the year, and is better than Untethered. With Set Free, it slows down the momentum so much, because it's not like it's a 3-minute song, whereas I feel like on that Novelists album, which had all those instrumental tracks in the middle of it, at least they weren't like super long, I don't think. Set Free really feels like it drags on to me, and like it's a good instrumental, like it's not bad, but I don't feel like you can get away with it on a 6-song EP. On an album, I think you could, it's like hard to pull off, but I think you could do it. I think, like, if I want to reference Relica, their 2022 EP of I Don't Know What I Am, Blip was a 2-minute instrumental, and I think it worked fantastically there. So, like, it's possible to pull it off, but I don't think Set Free does enough in the context of the EP to warrant the 3 minutes of runtime that it gets, which is such a shame, because there's so much else to love across the rest of this EP. I want more. It leaves more to be desired.
That's kind of disappointing to hear. I'm not gonna lie. I would have really liked to have a positive spin on this, but yeah, instrumental track on a EP in the middle is.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing to point out is track 7 is called Dayseeker, and the band is called Dream State, and
Bro,
Dayseeker put out a song called Dream State, which is funny.
Playing
It
into
is funny.
Some people were actually fucking upset about it.
Which is really
Which
funny.
is also funny.
Yeah. I think Dayseeker as like the closing song on this album actually works really good. Like, again, I think if Set Free isn't on here, this is a fantastic EP. It's just, God, the way that it just killed the momentum for me.
Just delete it. Put it
I
in.
wish I could.
Have you tried playing it without it?
I have not actually, no.
I wonder how it would pan out.
Yeah, there's a lot to love here, with a fatal flaw, unfortunately, in my opinion. Dayseeker is a great closing song, and just a good song. Like, yeah, I'm just talking in circles. Good EP, fatal flaw. Let's move on to albums.
So our first album, I think, is a new band for the podcast. Actually,
It is.
Unless Derek has added them before, but
Nope.
Casey have released How to Disappear. And I gotta put this out there. This is the very, very specific vibe I get from this album. And imagine you're at first of all, summer vibes. Like a foggy morning, and you're at your cottage, which is on the water, on a lake, and it's a really foggy
on the
morning.
water? Who let my cottage out to the
Yes.
lake? Put it back on land.
This is my very specific mood. I need to play this album in this context.
We need to go find a cottage. We need to wait till
Yo,
it's
Hivemind
foggy.
cottage trip?
Someone
tour.
shipwrecked my cottage. Please bring it home.
Get it to shore.
Justin's ruining my vibe.
That's what I
do.
Jake!
Justin's ruining my vibe.
Justin's ruining my vibe.
I really don't want Jake to be the parental figure in this.
Yeah, don't. That's a bad idea.
Well, it's my
Dude,
turn
it's
to
how
talk
to
about the
disappear
Casey
into the
album.
fog.
I fuck with your vision heavily. I think that you know what's up because I get the exact same vibe. Like, you described it perfectly. I would say maybe this is somewhere between Suicide and Sunshine by Trophy Eyes and No Good Left to Give by Movements.
Yeah, that's a great comparison, actually. I haven't listened to this in full, for full transparency. I've listened to 3 or 4 songs off of this, but the Movements comparison was absolutely coming out if it wasn't going to be made by you guys.
Mm-hmm. I also like a Holding Absence
Mm-hmm.
kind of vibe as well.
Very leaning into the melodic side of melodic hardcore is where I would put some of this. Not a genre that I feel like, at least for me personally, is very hard to execute well because it is, I don't want to say oversaturated, but there are a lot of bands out there with that kind of sound, and Casey really set themselves apart, I feel like. There are a lot of really, really strong songs on here, and the message and lyricism throughout is really well done. I really enjoyed Puncture Wounds to Heaven and For Katie, I think are probably my 2 favorites off of this. But something that I feel like is very hard about these sorts of albums is a lot of the time when you get into them, they feel like they can drag on. And they don't always keep your attention because they have a very specific vibe and sound to them. For me, I think that this album doesn't fall victim to the usual issues, and front to back, I was really happy with this. Unique Lights is a great opener. How to Disappear is a great closer. Everything in between, nothing really feels like it drags on. It helps that my least favorite songs are dispersed in between my favorite ones, so there's never any like run of like 3 songs I don't like, you know. And the floor here is also very high, I will say. Like, there's nothing here where I look, I'm like, fuck, I need to skip it. But I think the peaks here are very high in a genre that can be hard to peak in for my own personal tastes, and I was very pleasantly surprised by this. Which are your favorites?
This was the Unique Lights, How to Disappear, probably my 2.
Okay.
Opener and closer.
Opener Closer Syndrome, Shout Out Nothing But Thieves.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say. Like, for fans of Movements, Holding Absence.
One thing I will say about this is with this specific vibe, I think it might be difficult to, like, the staying power of it throughout the year, having released this early. It is like,
it does feel, like I said, summer vibes.
Yeah, it's good. It's good now in winter on like a grayer day, but overall, I agree with you.
That's
It's
true.
definitely a summer album. My question
We'll
is,
see how it holds up.
yeah, how's it going to hold up come summer? How am I going to feel about it? Time will tell. You'll either hear it in my top 10 or you won't, but it definitely has the makings of an album that could make it there, just off of the like 1.5 preliminary listens that I've been able to give the full thing.
I may end up giving this a full listen at some point. The singles didn't convince me too much. Again, like, I'm not the biggest fan of like the Movements or Trophy Eyes type of sound. It's very hit or miss for me, and I feel like that's kind of the vibe I was getting with this, that it was going to be very hit or miss, and I don't feel like there was going to be anything that was really going to blow me away, but who knows, maybe I could be wrong, and if I needed an album to listen to at some point later in the year, this is definitely going to be on my short list of things that I should give a listen, so we'll see. Like, I didn't dislike anything that I heard, but I also wasn't, like, super captivated by anything. Does that take us to album number 2?
Do it.
Yeah.
Charlotte Sands has released her debut album, Can We Start Over?
I'll get famous out of spite. I'll make it overnight. Be starring in the movies just to make you cry, baby. I'll be in your dreams and every magazine. Go tell everyone.
Derek, did you get to this?
I did not. And it's
Damn it,
'cause
I needed
wanted
your
to
help
keep
with
my-
this one.
Okay, because I so much for similar to Dream State, but for different reasons. I wanted to hear how you were feeling about this because I remember you being initially like, okay, and then it grew on you a little bit, and I wanted to see if that stood the test of time. Because if it
this
did,
has
I'm
grown
going
on
in.
me. This has grown on me the more I have listened to the non-singles. The singles still don't do much for me, and getting through those first 3 tracks is a little slow. Pity, I think, is good. Pity is definitely the best of the 3. It has a really high energy, upbeat rock beat behind it. Spite is really fun. I got some lyrics pulled out here. It's got the bad bitch energy in it. Fuck it, I'll get famous out of spite. I'll make it overnight, be starring in the movies just to make you cry. Which is, it's a little cheesy, but at the same time, like, Charlotte Sands at this point is like just gotten pretty damn big, and I think deserves to be able to make that kind of clapback almost. And then you get into the middle of the album. I think you'll really enjoy Blind Spot, Derek.
Okay.
Probably, I don't want to say it's my least favorite on the album, but to me it has Derek energy all over it.
Perfect.
I remember, I'm pretty sure Blind Spot is the song that when it dropped, it was the last single before the album, that she said it was like inspired by country songwriting, but with like a rock beat to it. If that makes any sense.
Good country.
Like the singer-songwriter, sad, emotional type of vibe. And perfectly in the middle of the album, I think it kind of hits that chord really well. It's just sonically not something that I get super attached to. But then you get to the last 3 songs on this album, which is where I think this album really shines. On the Outside, featuring Point North, is an incredible feature and an incredible song. But Can We Start Over as the album closer has really been the star of the show for me. Between, I don't know, I kind of wanted to wait to make this point, but I'm just going to make it now, fuck it. This month has had an astonishing amount of closer energy done really fucking well. Between Can We Start Over on this album, I Hope I Die First, from Letter Sent Home, and then the next album that we're going to be talking about as well, even Dayseeker by Dream State, to make an example. I think the closer energy and the slow anthemic build, I have been spoiled with the amount of songs that go like that. Can We Start Over slowly builds and gets more and more energetic up until the kind of crescendo explosion at the end of Can We Start Over with the delivery of maybe in a different life, maybe at a different time, what if I was meant to be yours, what if you were made to be mine? And then you get the dual layered vocals of repeating those 4 lines with Can We Start Over, Can We Be Strangers, I Could Let Go of All of My Anger underneath the maybe in a different life, maybe at a different time. And it's just a beautiful, powerful way to end this album. And I think if I was able to connect more with the individual songs across the front half of this album, the closer would hit even harder than it already does. When Can We Start Over is all like on its own my favorite song by Charlotte Sands at this point. If I was able to enjoy the rest of this album more, this is a really strong album. I mean, it feels a little weird to be saying that this is a debut album given that Charlotte Sands has been releasing EPs and singles for so long at this point. Yeah. But this is a really strong debut album, and it sure as hell sticks the landing. It trips on itself a little bit in the middle at times. Dead Body doesn't do much for me. Use Me and Get Over It don't do much for me. Blind Spot, I think, is a good song, just not my taste. On the Outside and Can We Start Over, and even Die in This Room, which I haven't really touched on because I haven't spent as much time with it. It's kind of surrounded by the 2 best songs on this album. So, but I mean, with that being said, this album, it sticks the landing, and definitely it left a mark on me on an album that otherwise halfway through, I was like, not entirely feeling. And with more time, this has only grown on me. And I think there's a lot to like here.
Well, you convinced me.
I think you will really like. I would be surprised if you enjoy this album less than I do.
Easy. I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
that leads us to our final album for the month. Jacob, take it away.
Hang on, gotta update this stream. I have to go through all the songs. Okay, right here. Ghost Atlas have released. Is this? No, this isn't debut. I don't know what number this is, but it's called The Dust of Human Shape. Dust of the Human Shape.
I want to say it's second. Let me see.
It's second or third. I forget.
Let's see. Albums. All
And I will.
Yeah.
I can confidently say is their best album or his best album. I think it's just Jesse's, right?
I want to say yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Always in Sync is close, but this is still very, very good and does.
While we're still tangentially on the topic of closer energy, Seeker is not the closer of this album, but boy, does it have the closer energy.
It definitely
And
does. I wouldn't be surprised.
Seeker is by far my favorite song on this album.
Mine has to be Tomato Red.
Interesting.
I did not like that song.
Really? It's in my top
No.
3.
I was
I would
very
say-
50-50 on this album.
It's the overlaid vocals. Like we talked about it with what was it? What song was that? Yours truly, right? I think so.
Let Us Send Home did it.
Or Let Us Send Home. Let Us Send
Yeah,
Home.
yeah.
Let Us Send Home. The overlaid vocals, dude, gets me every time. I swear, like every single song, like Euclid or what's the Crown the Voices by Crown the Empire. Oh my god.
I really like the guitar work on this. I mean, we've known since forever that Jesse Cash is an incredible guitarist, but when he's just by himself and can do whatever he wants,
I'm just so happy to hear emotion in from like Jesse. Of course, it's only Jesse, and I think this is the way. I always crave for more emotion from like Drift by Era, the album, not the song. And yeah, I guess you get a lot of it in Ghost Atlas because it's only him. So I got a funny misheard lyric.
Oh yeah,
from Void Voyeur.
Oh god.
So I just realized this now because I looked up the lyrics. But the beginning, the doo wop wop, the radio fades. I thought it was. This is so stupid. I thought it was like the Disturbed thing. Ooh ah ah ah. The radio fades.
And get my boy some chop
sounds so
suey in
stupid.
this.
It's crazy.
Ooh,
Yup.
No, that's not Chop Suey. That's Disturbed.
Is
Yeah.
it? No.
Yeah, that's Down with the Sickness.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's a chop suey. I believe
No.
it. Too. I was like, shit, I'm wrong. There was confidence behind those words.
No,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Void Voyeur is probably my second favorite. I want to
Really?
say, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think mine would be Lesser Gods, then Seeker, then Tomato Red. What I will say is I wasn't sold on Void Voyeur or Death Confetti as openers and closers the first time I heard this album. It took like the second listen.
I'm still not sold on Death Confetti.
I'm not as sold on it now as I am, like as a closer, as I am now on Void Voyeur as an opener. But what I will say is maybe much like Tether, this is an album that does benefit from listening to it like stoned. Like, if I'm being so for real, and I think what it is these, and I have the same fucking problem with Era, is I do appreciate the more personal touches on this album. There are a lot of lyrics on here that I don't want to say I'm too stupid to understand, but like it feels complex more so than it needs to be. Like I can listen to it and like get it, but it's like
it wants to be like progressive metal. But
right.
It's the progressive metal rubbing off, honestly.
Yep. But
yeah, I think that's why I like Tomato Red. It
is very honest.
It's more simple.
Yeah. I in saying that it needs to be listened to high, it's because there are a lot of instrumental notes here, especially guitar licks that I didn't really fully appreciate until I was able to like zone in on that one specific instrument, and then like once I was zoned in, like focus in on it, I could just zone out and let everything else fade. And like on a song by song basis, I think it gave me a much greater appreciation for a lot of what's going on here. Because my initial assessment of this album after one listen was that most of it is really good, but there are some songs that fade into the others, so the replayability wasn't as great for me. I think as sounds so fucking stupid, as the songs like revealed themselves to me, I got to like
as I saw through the veil.
Yeah, exactly. But no, a very interesting album. A lot more. It was simultaneously more and less vibey than I expected it to be. I think the acoustic renditions of the last album maybe skewed my perspective a little bit, but overall, I think I agree with you. I think this is their best album. They have 3, by the way. I went and checked.
3. Yeah.
There is a lot to dive into here that I feel like I've only scratched the surface of. And the album draws me in and makes me want to listen to more of it so I can figure out all of what's going on in the lyrics. Like, is there a story? What's the motif? Like,
right.
I'm
Definitely.
Now, whether or not me being hooked is going to lead to a top 10 album of the year or a flop, we'll see. But when it's somebody as talented at singing and guitar and composition as Jesse Cash, when it's just him and his creative mind, it's definitely something that is worth checking out.
It frustrates me how I just can't get into this as much as I want to, knowing how talented he is.
It's
like,
too pride.
I think it's the lyrics. That's probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it, but I don't think that's entirely it. I think the instrumentation also just doesn't stick the landing for me on some of these songs. And like, because he's such a talented vocalist and guitarist that like it shouldn't be possible to not enjoy it, but somehow it is in both this and an era for me.
It's all right. Hopefully the new era of era will bring that song for you.
Even with my mixed feelings across this album, I must reiterate, Seeker is incredible.
Seeker is a fucking banger. That is if there was a drive-core song on this album, it's Seeker.
That's true.
Fucking drive-core. We can't escape it.
Nope.
It's become
It's
redacted.
It's our new gag for the year.
God bless.
Oh, it started last year, didn't it?
It's our fiscal year. It's our fiscal year.
Yeah.
Our fiscal year.
On that note,
What are we making up?
any other thoughts on this? Are we good?
No, no thoughts left in head. We good.
No.
January 2024 was certainly a month of the year. I would definitely say a big step up from January 2023.
Yeah,
Yes.
we combined them the last time for reasons.
More diverse.
But I think February 2024 is also going to be a huge step up from February 2023.
That's going to be the March of last year. Like that's already looking kind of stacked.
Yeah. So let's lay out what we're at the very minimum talking out next month, just to build some hype, I guess, because I know I got my Normandy album.
I got a Galleon's album.
I have been holding quiet on these last few Normandy singles for this moment. But it's not the only album I've been holding out on. Your friendly reminder that the Amaranth album also comes out next month.
You know, it makes sense that this February is stacked because it's a leap year.
It is a leap year.
Thanks.
It's the only explanation.
Hmm.
Nobody likes my theory.
I like your theory. The
It is-
stars
it
are
is a
aligning.
theory.
We hit the leap year. We got 4 full weeks technically.
Yes.
It's all coming together.
With all that being said,
Big. Let us get us out of here.
be sure to follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Hivemind Radio and follow us on Spotify at the Hivemind Recap Podcast. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next month with our February recap and potentially an after hours episode. Potentially.
Our
Maybe, who knows?
69th episode.
Thank you for listening. Also, before we dip out, friend reminder that we live stream these episodes, so you can hang out in the chat with us if you want to. And each episode has a Spotify playlist, so if any of the songs that you heard in this episode or heard us discuss in this episode sounded interesting to you, check out the Spotify playlist and you can find links to everything that we discussed there. We'll see you next month.
Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.